Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode of Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well, got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So today, just kind of a follow-up from the competition, the Dallas Open, this past weekend, which was Saturday and Sunday. 2 long days of, very exciting up and down roller coaster type of emotions from watching students compete and watching other competitors compete, watch some really good matches. Some good wins, some tough losses. Yesterday I was talking about, having the most successful or the more successful competitors actually having a target and they know what they're going to do when they get out and shake hands, or before they get out there and shake hands with their opponent. The ones that I saw that were winning matches just got right to it, versus the other ones, they were thinking too much, hesitation, and just didn't really have an idea of how they were going to attack their opponents. And so most of those matches ended up in losses. Okay. So today is really important because the how to handle a loss is tough. There's a fine line of, being too hard on yourself and treating it like it doesn't matter. Okay. And I bring this up because I've had quite a few students always at tournaments. It's very unrealistic to think all your students are going to go win 100% of their matches. Okay. Someone's going to lose. It's just the way the competitions work. And someone like myself that competes still, okay, and has competed for the last, since 2002, so for 20 years, and has traveled and competed all over the country and all over the world to compete, and have won and lost all over the country and all over the world. I definitely know what it feels like to lose. It sucks, okay? And if you're as competitive as I am, which most competitors are, they're very... If you're a competitor, you just have that spirit in you, in everything. I get that kind of comments like all the time. Whatever it is, my family members always make comments of like how competitive I am, and not even in jiu-jitsu, it's in everything else. Like, I don't want to lose, right? I'll give you an example, like bowling. We went bowling recently, and I used to bowl a long time ago. I had a coach, and I was really good. My brother's really good, and I'm using a house ball with house shoes, and I'm like, this ain't cool. Like, if I'm gonna bowl, like, even though this is just for fun and we're just doing it on the weekend, like, I want my own ball with the holes drilled in my hand, and like shoes that are, whatever. Like, and they're like, oh, you're getting carried away. Like, we're here to have fun. I'm like, well, I am here to have fun, but like, it's no fun like having a ball that doesn't fit your hand and it's not the right size, and you're not actually throwing the ball like you should, because it's just not the right ball. And they got all mad at me, and they're like, you're ridiculous. And I'm like, no, I'm not. If we're gonna go bowling, maybe I'll go buy a bowling ball to have in the garage, and whenever you do feel like going bowling to go have some fun, I can take my ball with me and I can win. I can win all the frames. But that's just me. That's just giving you an example. All right. So anyways, they just want to go have fun. That's not how it works. That's like jiu-jitsu. That's what I'm getting at. Like, some people want to compete. They want to sign up for a competition, and they see their teammates doing it, or they see other people doing it, and they're winning, and they want the gold medal, and they just want to go out and compete, but they didn't do the actual work to go out and win. And then they get their feelings hurt, and they cry, and grown adults cry, and it's tough to see that. I don't feel too bad for the ones that really didn't put in the work, because they just didn't put in the work. It's hard to feel sorry for someone that really didn't put in all the effort, that didn't want to take time away from the family, that didn't want to take time away from work, didn't want to eat the right foods, didn't want to get the runs in, didn't want to get the workouts in, didn't want to get extra training sessions in. Like, how can you feel sorry for someone like that really didn't do those things? And I've had students literally tell me, well, hey, coach, I'm not going to take time away from my family to get ready for competition. Okay, cool. Like, don't do that, but don't expect to win either. And if you come up short, that's what you should expect, because you're not doing what the other people are doing. Okay. There should never be a stone unturned, and you should always feel like you're 100% prepared. And even when you do do everything, there's always kind of like that small thing in the back of your mind, like, you could have did more. But if like you don't want to like do the cardio, you don't want to get the weight training in, you don't want to get the extra reps in and the extra training in, you want to stay after and ask questions, you don't want to watch film, and you don't want to eat right, and you don't want to, man, all these things, man, you shouldn't be signing up for tournaments. Anyways, what happens if you lose? Okay. So I've had quite a few students, man, they're pretty beat up, like emotionally from the competition, not really physically, but just the fact that they did do all the right things. I had quite a few students that have been there. They're doing 2 a days, 3 a days. They're asking questions. They're rolling with the hardest teammates. They're putting in all the right work, and I see it, and I saw it. And they still came up short, and it's tough. And they're new to the game. They're new. They're blue belts and like new purple belts, and they haven't really competed all that much, and it's beating them up inside. And I'm like, well, that's good. Like, it should. This is where I'm getting at. It should bother you, okay? And if it doesn't piss you off, okay, if it doesn't make you mad that you lost, then you shouldn't be competing. But there's that other side to that where, like, if you beat yourself up too much and you're overdoing it with the pissed offness, that's not good either, because you're letting it it'll take effect into other areas of your life. Like, it'll ruin the rest of your day at work. It'll ruin things at home with your family members. It'll ruin the rest of your week, the training sessions. Like, it shouldn't do that. What it should do is fuel you and fire you up to get after it more, to ask more questions, to a lot of my students, they don't record their matches. So at the tournament on Sunday, when I asked a few students for their film, they didn't have it. And so I went to Amazon. I found one of the little tripods for your iPhone or whatever phone you got. It's like $18. And I copy and pasted it into my team page. I'm like, every competitor should have one of these. Like, how am I supposed to help you if I can't see what went wrong? You're not going to be able to relay that information to me 100% correctly, because the matches happen so fast, you forget things. But if we can watch it together and we can break it down, then I can help you. And so that was one of the things that most of my most active and like students that are actually training and put in the work, they were missing. They're missing that one little piece there. Because I'm only one person. I got 4 students, which I did. Like, there's someone's over there competing, someone's over there, I'm coaching this guy here, and then there's someone's going over there. Like, I can't coach, everyone at the same time. Other students got to go around and help. And then when you get done, if you did win or you did lose, I want to know what happened, and I want to be able to see it, and I can't because you don't have a tripod. So anyways, those individuals need to get those things together so that we can study together, because I like to break down film. It's just like a football coach, a basketball coach. You lose the first half, you're getting beat on the first half. Halftime comes, you XOs, you say, hey, we need to make these adjustments. And then second half, you come back and try to win the rest of the game. We can't do that if there's no film, okay? So that's just a tip for anyone out there that's watching and you compete. If you're not recording your matches, you're doing yourself a huge disservice along with your coach, all right? Whoever your coach is, if they like to do that. But back to the point of where it just takes over you too much, and if you're not like, because some people I've had like, like they don't care, okay? Again, if it doesn't really bother you and you don't really care that you lost, then you really shouldn't be competing. You're not a true competitor. Like, you're like a true competitor, like, doesn't like to lose in anything. Connect 4, shoots and ladders, like tic-tac-toe, like nothing. Like, at least that's me. And there's a lot of people in here like, man, you're crazy. And there's gonna be a lot of people like me that be like, yeah, I relate to that. I get with that. Like, I don't want to lose to, rock, paper, scissors. You know what I mean? Like, that's just it. But if you're a true competitor, you also know, like, losing is gonna come at some point or time, and you got to be able to how to handle that. And how do you handle that? Again, you got to let it fuel you to get back to work. It should kind of keep you up at night. It should wake you up sometimes. I know I have, like, in the middle of the night, like, you wake up like a nightmare, like, like cold sweats or whatever, like, man, you're thinking about that match. You're replaying what happened, that one grip that you lost, or that one position that you just didn't finish, or whatever. and you gave the match away. I've had a couple of those where it's like those things will haunt you forever. They will never go away. There are some matches that I have that will just never ever leave my mind because I gave the match away. There's times where like, hey, you were just down and out and you were just getting beat the whole time, and then there's times where like you're winning, and then you just give it away. Yeah, there's very few of those, but those few will always stick with me. But they'll always stick with me when I did lose those matches. Whenever I was in that same position in another match, it came back. I'm like, I'm not giving this position up again. I gave that position up before. This is not happening again. And I made sure that it didn't happen again because I'm not doing that twice. So those things will help you. Your losses are definitely going to help you. If you're not losing in practice, you're not losing in competition, you're not really getting as good as you can be. You know what I mean? You need to have those losses. You're not trying to go out and lose on purpose, but the losses, you need those. You need those to kind of help you improve and get better. And already just from the last few days of competition and the questions that I've answered in since yesterday in the morning class and in the evening class, my students have already getting better. They're going to make those adjustments to those things where they messed up at, and they're going to get better. But I know I've had some students that have never come back after a loss after competition. Like just quit jiu-jitsu, period. Like horrible. Like just never came back. Or took a month or two to come back, and when they did come back, I'm like, hey, where you been? You get sick or you whatever. And they're like, no, I'm not used to losing, so I didn't want to come back. And I'm like, it blows my mind because the first thing that comes to mind for me is if I lose, I got to get back to the gym right away. Like right away, like as soon as I can. Like if it's Saturday and I'm flying back in on Sunday or something, like I got to be there on Monday to figure out or try to fix the problems. And if you take the whole week off, okay, or maybe you got hurt a little bit, you need a couple of days off, okay, that's fine. But if you take a whole week off, I mean, you're missing an opportunity while it's fresh in your mind to get with your coach or to get with me, to sit down and break down what happened. It's gone. It's gonna go away. And so you can't do that. You can't take off a whole week or a month and pout. Because to me, it's just you're just being pouty. You're just being just childish, I guess. I don't know. You're just, you lost a match, and you don't know how to handle a loss, and you just take a month off or a week off or whatever because you lost, not because you're hurt. It's just you lost and you don't want to come back, And the other thing is that I heard is, well, I didn't want to, I feel like I let you down. I disappointed you. I know what it's like to lose, so I don't ever step on my opponents or my students after a loss because I've been there. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to give 100% effort, get out there and put in the work, and then just come up short. No one wants to be stepped on after that. You're already down and out, and now a coach is going to come and step on. I see that. I see that a lot out in competition. I'm not that kind of coach. I'm gonna give you a hug, a handshake, or whatever, and it's time to get back to work. Like, you know what I mean? Keep your head up kind of thing. Tell you good job, and it's time to just get back after it, and that's it. And so there's never going to be a disappointment like on my end. And I did tell some students the only time I am disappointed after a loss is if a student goes out there and doesn't do anything, doesn't even try, just goes out there and freezes up and just holds and just stalls and just no jiu-jitsu. The whole purpose of competition is to show your artwork, to show your jiu-jitsu, to show your skill level, to show what you've been working on, and to get out there and show people how good you are. And when you get out there and don't do anything, and you can't show yourself, you're not even showing yourself or the crowd or your teammates or your coach what you've been working on, that sucks. So that's a huge disappointment because the coach knows, hey, you're better than that. You know you're better than that. Your teammates know you're better than that. Your opponent probably knows you're better than that, but you didn't do anything. And no one wants to go out and have a match that's just boring and no action and nothing happens. And then the score is 0-0. And then someone gets their hand raised off of nothing. So in that case, it is a disappointment. But if you ever lose, you shouldn't be worried about disappointing your teammates or your coaches. If you're going out there and your guns blazing, you're letting things loose and you're giving 100% effort, and you come up short, it's part of competing. It's part of what we do. So you should feel good about that. Hey, I went out there and let it fire, man. I let it go and I tried. The guy was just better than me today, or I made a mistake and I need to fix that, or whatever. And you should be able to keep your head up and still be able to come back to class and get back to work. So just to recap, if you lost, it should piss you off. It should make you mad. It should bother you to the point where like it probably keeps you up at night, but it shouldn't bother you to the point where like you're going home and you're being, stupid with your relationships with your kids or your significant other or whoever or whatever, or people around you. You're treating them mean because you lost. Now, I've had that. I've had people where like students have, you're waiting as a coach and your teammates are there, and after you're done competing and you lose, and they don't want to come and even shake your hand or give you a hug, and you're there cheering on them and rooting for them and whatever. And so certain students I know, I'll give them their space. They need 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. They need to calm down, and then I'll try to approach them. And then some students you can approach them right away and give them a hug, and it's all good, And then you have the other side of that where it's like, like it's not caring enough. Okay, we're like, whatever. If you're doing that, that's not good. You shouldn't even be out there, period. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter. Then why are you doing it? But it shouldn't matter to the point where, it should matter to the point where it bothers you. Okay. And then before I let you guys go, it's the other thing of like, I've seen students like literally take second or third place and get their medal and throw it in the trash. Like as soon as they get off the podium, throw it in the trash. That looks horrible. That's a horrible look for you, and it will always be imprinted in people's minds that you're just a salty loser, man. Like you're just a sore loser. If you won, you're not going to throw your medal in the trash. Why are you going to do that if you lose? If you do it, you do it in private. It's like crying in public, like crying, like, I've seen a lot of competitors do that where like they're literally crying in front of everyone. Like, man, if you're going to cry, then go around the building, go outside, look around, try to see no one's looking and let it out, get it off your chest. But to take the medal off your neck and literally throw it right in the trash after then why even go up there? You know what I'm saying? And I've had students do that, and it's a horrible, horrible look. Like I have my bronze and my silver medals, and they're encased in a shadow box along next to the gold medals. Because each one has a story to tell. They remind me of what happened. I want that memory. I want to look back and be like, because those mistakes that I made, it helped me I fixed those, and then I went off to win more tournaments because of the mistakes that I did make. So that's it. And also, whenever I did lose, I try to find the next tournament possible to go compete right away. I didn't take a break from competition. So if you were to come to my academy, I could literally show you like bronze or silver medal and then gold medal, bronze or silver medal, then gold medal. Like literally, like it was never like a consecutive like bronze, 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 or silver, silver, silver. It was like a loss and then a win, a loss and then a win, or win, 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 loss, and then another win. Because I try to get out there as much as possible. Like after that, I never wanted to sit on a loss like that. I'm not going to let that sit there and marinate. I'm not going to sit there and let it marinate and just like simmer in it and just let it just sit on it like that. I lost. All right, cool. I'll go to pick up my phone, IBJJF, like what's the next one? What city's next? Go to AmericanAirlines.com, like book a flight, get a hotel room, sign up. Boom, I'm in there and I'm going. I need to fix it. I need to get back out there as soon as possible and get my win back. I'm not actually going to get the win that I lost. That's over and done with, but I at least get back in the win column to help kind of fix that hurt feeling that I have, emotionally and, probably physically also from that loss. I need to get back in the win column. It helps with mental everything, so anyways, for those that came up short this past weekend, or you're going to come up short in the future at some point, don't be a sore loser. Don't be the one that doesn't shake your opponent's hand. Don't be the one that kicks or throws your belt or kicks a water bottle or kicks the trash can, or don't talk to your family members or your teammates or your coach after. Like I've had that. Like I said, I've literally had, like I've walked up to people and they just turned around and walked away. Right away, like sore loser. You're just a sore loser. You're childish. Like you don't belong out here. You don't belong out here. You know, go play some kid games because that's what you're doing. You're acting like a little kid. You know, I shake everyone's hand. When I lose, I'll go to the podium, give my opponent their props. I'm going to go stand in the second or the third place position and fill up the podium. You see people where they don't show up and it's like the first place guy, no second place guy, and a third place guy, or, you know, 1, 2, and then no third place. Like, show up. Hey, you went out there, you know there was a possibility of you losing. You lost. Take it like a man or a woman. Go up there and grab your medal, whatever it is. Because if you won, you're going to go up there and you're going to want the people in second and third place next to you, so the picture looks right. So you don't want it to mess up for you. You don't want it messed up for you. Don't mess it up for other people. And I've had students that do that. Like, they won't show up. I got to go find them. Like, I had to have one time, I had to call someone, like, because they left. They left the tournament. I'm like, hey, you got to get your medal and you got to stand up here on the podium, man. You're making us look bad. That makes me look bad. Like, what kind of coach allows their competitors to just lose, get all pouty and cry, and then leave, and then don't even go to the podium like that? Like, I'm like, man, if you don't turn back around and get back up here, like, you're off the team. Like, you can't come back. You know, you got to make me look like that. You know, so, you know, you got to show some respect, man, to yourself and to your opponents. You know what I mean? Because like I said, if you won, you're going to want them to stand on that second and third place podium. So there's a lot going into it on the wins and losses, and you got to be able to handle that correctly, you know? And so you just probably need someone like myself to kind of tell you that, because if I don't, then you're going to get all emotional, base your decision off your emotions, not show up, cry, kick something, throw something. Don't show love to your family members or your teammates that came out to support you, or take it home and, you know, trash the house, or don't speak to your loved ones. And this is ridiculous, you know, but it should bother you to the point where, like, I'm sorry, loved ones, but I'm going to do a couple extra days this week, or get an extra day in this week because I lost. I need to fix that and sign up for the next tournament and get back after it. And you should never be the one that just, again, doesn't care. You know, and there is no cake and eat it too in that. Like, you can't be like, oh, well, like, if I lose, oh, well, and if I win, you know, like, no, either you're in it to win it, and that's it. And you're going to do everything in your power to do that. And there's some students of mine that lost. They actually deserve the loss because they haven't been there. Hopefully that kind of motivates them to be like, you know what, yeah, I can't half-heartedly, like, train and think I'm going to go out and win. And I need to actually put in the work and then try to do it. And even then, you can still come up short, but you can hold your head up high with the simple fact that you did everything in your power and you still came up short. That person was just a better person than you that day. Not, well, yeah, I could have ran, I could have lifted weights, I could have trained 2 more times last couple of weeks, I could have picked some harder training partners. Yeah, I could have. You don't want to. That sucks. Like, you don't want to. Don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to your teammates, and don't do that to your coach. You know, I'm sure, like I do, I put a lot into my team, my students. And when you have students that don't even really give it 100%, it sucks, okay? So anyways, long-winded, but it's important stuff, because I've had some students that really just are kind of taking it pretty hard these last couple days since the tournament. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there that are watching this or will come across this and have lost, and they're relating to some part of this video, all right? So, I've learned and grown through my process, and I'm just trying to share with you guys, you know, how I do things and how I think and how I do things now. You know what I mean? It sucks. Okay. Again, the example with the bowling thing, I'm gonna go get me a new bowling ball and have it drilled in my hand. So if anybody wants to go bowling, I'm ready. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll see you.